Skarloey the strong engine. Skarloey worked on the little railway on the island of Sodor. He was 100 years old, but he was still a useful engine. All the other engines liked Skarloey, and he would tell them stories about when he was young. Everyone's favourite story was about the time Skarloey first came to the little railway. Skarloey was built at the same time as another engine called Rheneas. They were both red with 4 wheels each. "We look wonderful," said Skarloey proudly. "We will pull coaches and everyone will want to ride in them," replied Rheneas. Skarloey and Rheneas were both going to work on the mountain line of the little railway. But Skarloey was finished first, so he had to go to the little railway alone, leaving Rheneas behind. The 2 engines felt sad when they said goodbye to each other. Skarloey was sent away on a ship. It was very wobbly. At the port, they used the ship's cranes to lift Skarloey onto the shore. The ship's cranes were called derricks, and they nearly turned Skarloey upside down. "How dare they treat me like this?" said Skarloey crossly. He was left hanging from the derricks for a long time. At last, an engine arrived to take him to the mountain line. It was dark when Skarloey arrived at the mountain line. He felt lonely and miserable. "I wish Rheneas was here," he said sadly. Next morning, there were freight trucks everywhere. They rattled and roared past Skarloey. "There's no engine pulling them," said Skarloey in surprise. "The trucks come down the mountain by gravity," explained the manager. "But the empty ones need to be taken up again. That's why you're here." "What?" said Skarloey crossly. "I don't want to pull freight trucks. Can't I pull coaches, sir?" "Certainly not," said the manager. "We have to finish building this line, and for that we need freight trucks. The inspector is coming to look at the line soon." Skarloey was furious. When the workers tried to start him, his fire wouldn't burn. He made no steam. He just blew smoke at them. They tried again the next day, and the next, and the next. But Skarloey wouldn't do a thing. Finally, the manager lost his temper. "We are not going to look at your sulky face all day, Skarloey," he said. "We'll leave you alone until you're a better engine." They covered Skarloey with a big sheet of tarpaulin and went away. Skarloey felt even more lonely and unhappy. Nobody talked to him. At last, the manager came back. "I hope that you will be a better engine from now on," he said. "Yes, sir, I will, sir," said Skarloey earnestly. From then on, Skarloey worked very hard, and although he sometimes got too excited and would bounce up and down, the manager was very pleased with his efforts. By the time Rheneas arrived, the line was ready. Skarloey was delighted to see his old friend. Rheneas soon settled in. One day while he was shunting trucks, Skarloey hurried up to him. "I'm going to pull the inspector's train today," said Skarloey. "Be careful not to bounce," said Rheneas. "The inspector won't like that." But Skarloey was so excited, he just couldn't stop bouncing. Skarloey had to take the inspector up to the top of the mountain and then back down again. The upward journey went well, and Skarloey felt very happy. When it was time to go down, Skarloey was really excited. As they went faster and faster, he began to bounce. The coaches were scared. "He's playing tricks," they said. "Bump him, bump him!" Just then, Skarloey gave an extra big bounce, and the inspector lost his footing. He flew into a bush on the side of the line. The driver stopped the train. The inspector was not hurt, but he was very cross. "From now on, you will stay in the shed," he said to Skarloey. "You are a bad engine." When the inspector told the manager what had happened, the manager felt sorry for Skarloey. He knew that he had been trying very hard to be good. "What Skarloey needs is an extra pair of wheels," he said. "Then he won't bounce anymore." So Skarloey was sent off to the works. When Skarloey came back, Rheneas hardly recognized him. He had 6 wheels and a brand new cab, and he looked very smart. "Now let's see what you can do," said the manager. Sure enough, Skarloey found it much easier to travel along smoothly without bouncing. From then on, Skarloey pulled coaches and freight cars up and down the track as easily as anything. And he didn't bounce his passengers once. 100 years later, he is still as good as new. The